your first day, welcome to Bolt Electric. If you've been here a while, this may or may not be the standard hammer we use, but whatever the standard hammer we use in the future, everybody's going to use the same one. Let's go on upstairs. You don't need your tool belt for this process of boxing in, but again, there's nothing wrong with having an extra tool belt. If there's no arrow for this application, there's an arrow of which way to put it. If you see an arrow, that means it goes on this side of the stud. You put, the way I like to do it, I put my 4 fingers inside the box like a glove. You see these little rivets right here. You see these rivets? This shows us 1/2 inch or so, 1/4 inch. What you do is you take this box like a glove and you slip it into the stud until these rivets stop. You see that? Sometimes if you don't have enough leverage, just keep going, but make sure it's nice and tight. Put your hammer height, drop it down. Make sure it's nice and level. Both rivets are touching the 2x4. This is nice and snug. After it's done that, grab your right hand. If you're left-handed, use your right hand. After you've confirmed, you come in here while your hand is still in the box, tack it a little bit on one end, tack it a little bit on the other end. You gotta use a little extra until it's holding, and then hold the stud in place so it doesn't wobble around too much. It's all right if you miss. And then after that, I do a light tap. You want to make sure, if you take a look at the box from the front end. Sometimes the box will look a little crooked. You want to make sure you come in here, straighten it out. Allow the box to get back to its original shape. Because if it's crooked, the outlet will be crooked during trim out stage. You want to make sure your outlet is nice and straight. Show you how quickly this process can be. Come in here, put your rivets here. Done. Easy. You come in here, same thing, rivets, come in here. Sometimes you'll have a 2x4, it's a little bit off, and that's all right. You just have to make sure you look from the side to make sure it's level. So sometimes these take a little bit longer. Sometimes you have one rivet that will play, but you want to make sure you look from the side. And for the switches, we always go wherever we put the mark, that is the top of the switch. So whatever the mark is, we want to make sure that is the top of the switch. You go here. And if you look at your switches, if something's a little bit off, you can hit it at the bottom, hit it at the top, in the corners, to kind of help straighten it out with the stud. So if it's a little bit angled in, you can adjust it that way. They're pretty sturdy boxes, so you can hit them pretty hard. But that is how you nail on single gang boxes. Keep an eye out. If the stud is a little bit crooked, you can hit the stud to make sure your boxes are going in straight, to make sure they're nice and straight with the drywall that's going in. You want it within the door. You want it, it doesn't matter exactly where. It doesn't have to be perfect, but generally you want it right above the door. So usually what I do is I get into the center of the door, I look down, make sure I'm standing in the center, and put my smoke detector and just nail it in. I don't have to measure. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just walk in the center of the door, look up, nail it in to the closest stud that's there. This way you can actually kind of put it center because it's there. But some guys take out the tape measure, start measuring. Takes too much time. Nobody notices a 1/4 inch on a smoke detector. What they notice a 1/4 inch is heights right next to each other and stuff like that. Or if can lights are like you have 6 of them in line, that's when you'll notice small changes. But one smoke detector in the middle of a ceiling, no one's going to notice a 1/4 inch off. So you can just do a general measurement. Hallways, you just need one outlet for every 10 feet of hallway. This is less than 10 feet. This is just kind of more of a box. You just need one outlet, one general outlet, plug in a vacuum or so. This, if you can reach one end to the other, all you need is one switch. Anybody can take one step and put a switch. Anything longer, you want to put a second switch. That way, minimize how far someone has to go in the dark. Does that make sense? You come in here, we have S, S. How many switches do we need? 1S means single gang box. We'll put a different style box, 1S.
That's a 2 gang, and that's 3 gang.
This is a 2 gang box.
Yep.
2 S's. 2 switches are going into here. Anytime you see 2 S's, 2 gang box, because 2 switches are going inside the box. So anytime you see 2 S's, 2 gang box. S3 is a type of switch.
Okay, it's the 3-way switch.
It's how many S's dictate what kind of box you're installing.
Okay.
Does that make sense? How many S's you see will dictate how many switches are going. If you see an S3, it's a type of switch.
Okay, yeah.
It's how many S's there are
So for
will
that
dictate.
one, it would be 3 S's.
So you come into this bathroom right here. We see 3 S's.
So it's,
We see 1S, 1, 3.
yeah.
1, 2, 3. 3 S's mean 3 gang box. If this was just 2 switches, this would get this.
Yeah.
2 gang box. Single, unless you see something that marks a double gang box. But outlets are generally always single gang boxes. We always try to use deeper boxes to kind of accommodate for drywall guys who cut in, because they have their little router bit. We want to stray away from using shallow boxes, because the wires will get caught up when they're cutting out drywall. So deeper boxes, the S's dictate how many switches are going. Underneath the S will dictate what kind of switch. So if you see an S3, that means
So it's a double.
it's a 3-way. 2 switches will control this one light.
Okay.
So for here, we have an S3, and then right underneath it, it'll tell you what it controls. Stairs. So S3 for the stairs. And then we have an S3, another one for the one can light, and that is the one can light that will be right here.
Okay.
It will be controlled off of also, actually, no, there's 3 switches here. If you look, 1, 2, 3 switches. I almost missed one. 1, 2, 3. It's actually 3 switches here. Almost missed it. Very important that you don't miss how many switches there are. This will be for, we have under stair lights.
Okay.
They'll light up the stairs. So 3 switches, so this will be a 3 gang switch right there. There's multiple ways to accommodate for something, this kind of situation. Either if it's big enough, you can notch it out. You can add a 2x4 and add it here if the wall is bigger. If not, for situations like this will stick out past the drywall quite a bit. Even a thinner box, more shallow box, will not fit in here. You need a special pocket box to accommodate for this thinner stud bay that we have here. Stay tuned. When you look here, for a TV phone and a receptacle, there's 2 ways to go about this. You can put 2 single gang boxes, or you can use this special outlet low voltage box. So if you're using this outlet low voltage box, same as an outlet, come here, same as usual, make it the same height, knock it in, level it out, you're done. If for some reason you did not add these onto your order and you need to get it done so we don't waste time, you can use 2 single gang boxes. These are a little bit more difficult because they're a little bit more tedious. What you want to do is regular, install an outlet, regular, easy. The second one is the hard one. What you want to do is here, you want to use a level. So you want to come in here and slowly lift it up until it's perfectly level. Perfectly level. I cannot stress that enough. Perfectly level. Because once the plates are very close together, you will see the tiniest miss on level. If it's even an 1/8 of an inch higher or lower, these are so close together, you will notice the slightest height difference. So you want to make sure if you have boxes side to side on a 2x4 stud, you are using a level on this application. So knock it in, and after you're done nailing it in all the way, you might have some conflict because these nails are now the same height, so they might butt into each other. If that happens, contact your supervisor to give you appropriate directions. Let's see if it happens or not. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. Nice, sturdy, looks everything's good. You want to come in here and see if it's level. As you can see, it is off level. Sometimes it can start off level and then end up not level. Sometimes it's just a box, a little crooked. But as you can see, it is not level. What you can do is try to hit the box a little bit to get it level. And sometimes that will work. But you want to make sure you check the level before and after you install the box to make sure it is level before calling it good. When removing a box, if something messed up, you got to remove it. Some guys use this method. There's 2 ways to removing a box. My favorite is come in here and hit it in this corner. Most boxes are completely unusable after being removed because the nails are just now wompy. Still can be reused, but not all the time. If you remove it this way, it messes up the nails a little bit more. This way, doing it a little bit on each side, you can salvage the nails because you hit them directly out. The way you reuse the box, put them up against the stud. This way, if you try to do it this way, it won't work. If you try to do it this way, it won't work. What you want to do is just hit it as close as possible to the stud, hit the nail until it's flat, and now you can reuse it for something else. Easy. So this is what we're just going to install this guy here. Beautiful. All right. Beautiful. Yeah. So if you look at this switch, this is a special type. It's a surface mount. Not a surface mount, but it's a flush mount where it doesn't have nails. So if you have plywood or so, this can go. You can cut it in and attach it to the plywood, and it'll still have the distance it needs for the drywall. So for these, you want to use if there's plywood or similar applications. But you need either screws from the outside, or they have special screws on the inside for you to be able to screw it in as needed. But these do not have nails. They're retrofit cut-in boxes. There you go.